All right, good morning, everybody. It's Mitch Broderick here with Platform. If you're here for the high-hanging fruit webinar, you're definitely in the right place. So I just want to make sure you know that you have the right link and you're in the right place. So today is March 8th. This is a live webinar. It's not pre-recorded. And so I want to make sure everybody knows, everybody who is on the webinar, we are going to tell you exactly how to get the copy of the high-hanging fruit book. Everybody's going to get a free copy. And I just want to make sure you know that. So just a little bit before we get started here, a little bit about myself. Well, like I said, I'm Mitch Broderick. I'm the one that you've been getting text messages from and emails from, just getting, kind of prepared for joining us on this webinar. For most of this webinar, I'm actually going to be in the background, just kind of answering questions in the chat section, and some of you are texting me, so I'm going to have some of those conversations or answering emails just kind of behind the scenes. And then Tim Shermack, who I'll introduce in a moment, is actually going to go through the high-hanging fruit methodology with you. And we're actually opening ourselves up and really giving you the farm, or giving away the farm. We're going to show you the exact strategy that we use with our realtor clients to generate leads and create a really substantial brand and business for them. So everything we do, you can take away and implement this high-hanging fruit methodology yourself. And so we're really excited to have you with us. Again, this is a live webinar, and everybody on the webinar is going to get a free copy of the high-hanging fruit book. And I'm also going to be in the background answering questions if you have some as they go along. So kind of transitioning, I do want to introduce Tim Shermack. He is the author of the high-hanging fruit book, and he came up with this high-hanging fruit methodology. He's also the CEO of Platform Marketing, which is a boutique marketing agency. We'll certainly get into kind of what platform means and what high-hanging fruit means as well. But Tim and this high-hanging fruit methodology are, in my opinion, it's just a fantastic strategy. It's just so phenomenal how great this strategy is for realtors who want to, they want to build a substantial business in their market. And they want to do it something that's long-term. And so they definitely want to build a great strategy and a great business. And I know this because I used to sell real estate, and I was impressed whenever I sold real estate. So I sold real estate for 3 years, and then I moved on into a marketing career, and ultimately came full circle into meeting Tim and working with him here. So I've tried and spent money on many different marketing programs, signed contracts, etc. That either maybe they broke even, maybe they were like a few $1,000s profitable, but the thing was they never really built the business that well. That just got me that one transaction. And so I really want to focus on in this webinar, we're going to really focus on how can we generate leads and build a substantial business where we have a consistent pipeline of business and we have consistent branding as well. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Tim. Again, I'm going to be in the background here answering texts and responding to messages that I get. And we're hoping to give you a lot of really great content. So thank you. I'll turn it over to Tim.
All right, thanks, guys. As Mitch said, I'm the CEO of Platform Marketing, and I'm the author of the book, High Hanging Fruit. Everyone who joins us this morning for the webinar is going to get a free copy of the book. I just want to repeat that. So stay tuned until the end of the webinar. We'll show you how to get a totally free copy of the book, no strings attached. What we're going to talk about in today's webinar is this high-hanging fruit lead gen strategy. It's pretty much the opposite of what you've been taught your entire career as a real estate agent. So it really is contrarian to really most of what's being taught in really any sales training class, whether it's time pipeline of leads versus trying to grab leads that are ready to go right now. So obviously, if you're cold calling FSBOs, you're cold calling expireds, you're really chasing what I call low-hanging fruit, the leads that are ready to go right now. Whether it's a buyer or seller, those are low-hanging fruit. That sounds good in theory, right? In theory, it sounds good. In theory, you'd rather have a lead who's ready to start house hunting this week. You'd rather have a lead who's, ready to list their house with you this week, right? In theory. But the reality is that's where all the competition is. Like, you're not the only agent who's had that revelation, right? So that's what all the other agents are doing. And so it actually paradoxically makes it harder to generate those leads, and especially harder to convert those leads, again, because that's where all the competition is. So high hanging fruit, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to generate leads that are intentionally probably 2 months out, 3 months out, 4 months out, before they're ready to start the house hunting process, or 90 days, even 4 months before they're ready to list their house. There's no competition there. So that's why we call it high hanging fruit. I'm going to show you in this webinar how to generate high hanging fruit style leads. So I'm going to hop into a PowerPoint right now, and we're going to teach you the specifics of how we use Facebook marketing, how we set up the landing pages, and the strategy behind all this stuff. Again, if you're just joining us, in addition to all that, you are going to get a totally free copy of my book, High Hanging Fruit, as well as we are going to offer a trial month of platform marketing for those who are interested. As Mitch said, I'm the author of High Hanging Fruit, as well as I'm the CEO of Platform Marketing, a marketing agency that actually specifically works with realtors. So in addition to joining us on this webinar, you are going to get a free copy of the book, but we'll also give you a trial month of platform marketing for anyone who's interested. So give me 1 second. I'm going to hop into my PowerPoint, and let's dive into the specifics of what this high hanging fruit lead generation strategy is all about. All right, I'm going to hop into screen share here. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, cool. You should be able to see my screen. So I usually start these with this text message that I got here. The most important thing I want you to notice is at the very end of this text, this client got some listing leads, buyer leads. That's all great. That's cool, right? But what high hanging fruit is all about is what he says at the end. My pipeline is full. That is ultimately what we're trying to do with this high hanging fruit philosophy. We're trying to build a pipeline for you. So, unlike other agents who are constantly stressing about if they have a closing coming up this month, or they're stressing about, where's my next deal going to come from, right? That's stressful. That's like a terrible way to run your business. That's a terrible way to live your life. If you literally don't even know what deal is going to pay your bills next month, right? That's a stressful way, not just to run a business, it's a stressful way to live your life. We're going to build a pipeline so you never have to worry about that again. If you always have a pipeline, you'll know pretty much how much money you're going to make next month, how much money you're going to make in 2 months, how much money you're going to make in 3 months, because you're tracking your pipeline. You're constantly filling your pipeline with leads. You're not really worrying about, cold calling expired listings or cold calling for sale by owners, trying to get a quick deal this month, right? You're thinking more long-term than that. And if you do that, you'll never have to worry about the necessity of bringing in a short-term deal because you have a huge pipeline, right? So that's what this is all about. The most important part of this text message, as I said, is at the bottom, where this client of ours said, my pipeline is full. That's what high hanging fruit is all about. So again, high hanging fruit is this idea that rather than trying to generate leads that are ready to go right now, right? Rather than trying to, call expired listings that might list with you today, right? Or calling a for sale by owner and trying to weasel your way in and trying to get an appointment with them, right? Rather than chasing after, the so-called low-hanging fruit, we actually intentionally want to structure our lead generation campaigns intentionally so that we're generating a lead who's probably 90 days out from being ready to go, sometimes even 4 months away, right? So I'm saying we will intentionally structure your Facebook and your lead gen campaigns so that I would rather have a lead come in, whether it's a buyer or seller. I would rather have a lead come in who's maybe even 4 months away than a lead who's ready to go right now. And the reason is the lead who's not ready for another 3 or 4 months is a lot cheaper of a lead. Rather than paying, $50 a lead, we're probably generating these leads for pretty close to $3 a piece, right? So it's a cheaper lead. And on top of that, they're much easier to convert. You'll have a much higher conversion percentage on those leads because there's no competition. When you're getting low-hanging fruit, right? If you're buying a lead from Zillow or from Realtor.com, you're competing against 20 other agents who got that same lead, right? So when you're calling them, they may have already been called by 10 other agents. That's a really hard lead to convert just because there's so much competition. So the higher you go up the funnel, the more high-hanging fruit the lead is. By the way, the reason I use this metaphor is because if you think of an apple tree, right, everyone wants the fruit on the low-hanging branches. Well, what happens if you take a ladder and you climb to the top of the tree, right? You have all the fruit to yourself because no one thought to do that. So that's what I'm saying when I say your conversion rate is going to be higher. You have no competition at the top of the tree if you bring a ladder and you pick the high-hanging fruit. So I like high-hanging fruit leads because they're cheaper and they're easier to convert. So if you can get leads for $3, I mean, this is simple math, right? Every $100 you spend in your advertising budget should bring in 30 leads or more, right? So imagine how quickly you could grow your business. And by the way, in this webinar, I'm going to share with you a ton of case studies and actual examples of real realtors that we've worked with that are using the system that have not just grown their business, they've doubled their GCI. In some cases, they've even tripled their GCI. So I want you guys to know throughout this webinar, this is not just an idea I've had. Like I published the book High Hanging Fruit 2 years ago. It wasn't just theory. This is based off of me working with actually now hundreds of real estate agents around the country, many of whom have doubled their GCI and some have even tripled their GCI. So again, it's not something that, you know, the goal is to just add a couple of deals a year. This is something that can increase your business by 100% or more, right? So the reason that works is simple math, right? If you go higher up the funnel, high hanging fruit, because there's no competition, you can get leads off of Facebook for as little as $3 a piece, right? If every $100 you spent on ads brought in 30 leads or more, right, you could see how it's actually really not that hard. It's not that difficult to double your business if every $100 you spent brought in 30 leads. And so that's just how the math of this works. I want you guys to realize that right away. One of my biggest complaints about, you know, all these webinars that are put on for realtors is that there's lots of fluff, right? And there's not usually a lot of substance on these free webinars. I'm going to try to give you everything that I've learned over the last couple years in doing this. And so my goal is that actually this is the most valuable webinar, the most valuable training that you'll ever be on in your entire career as a real estate agent. We're going to show you the specific ads. We're going to show you the tactics. We're going to explain how the strategy works. We're going to show you everything. All right. So this isn't one of those things where we just talk around it and then at the end you have to pay us money, right, if you want how it really works. We're going to show you how everything works. So this is going to be the most valuable webinar that you've been on. And we're going to give you a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit. And for those who are interested at the very end too, we'll give you more information about platform marketing. And as a, you know, a special bonus on top of the free book, we're also going to give you a trial month of the platform marketing service if you're interested in that. So you can get a trial month if you're interested. So this is the live webinar though. I want everyone to understand that this is not one of those BS like pre-recorded webinars where we tell you it's live, but it's actually a recording. So it is right now, I'm looking at my iPhone. It is 10:15 a.m. Eastern time. It is Thursday, March 8th. I know it's March 8th because today is actually my birthday. So that's how special that this is, guys. I think this is this important that I'm doing a live webinar on my birthday, right? So it is Thursday, March 8th. Let's see what's going on in current events right now, just so I can prove to you guys that this is a live webinar. The NFL draft is coming up. I think Josh Allen from Wyoming is expected to be one of the top picks, and Minka Fitzpatrick from Alabama, Sam Darnold. Yeah, so this is a live webinar. I'm just trying to prove to you guys that this is not it's not a pre-recorded. We are totally 100% live right now. So let's dive into this. Often when I do these consulting days, you know, like a broker will hire me to train their brokerage, or a top producing team, you know, hires me to kind of train them on this high hanging fruit strategy. The first thing I explain is the concept, I guess, that high hanging fruit really isn't a tactic, and it's really not a strategy either. High hanging fruit is at like a bigger picture level than even that. High hanging fruit is really a philosophy. It's a new way of thinking about marketing. So it's like bigger than just a tactic or a strategy. It's a philosophy, right? It's an entirely new way of just thinking about marketing. So you can apply the high hanging fruit philosophy to Facebook ads. You can apply it to direct mail. You can apply it to, really any sort of advertising. We like focusing on Facebook ads right now because in March of 2018, Facebook ads are by far the cheapest way and the most effective way to generate leads and actually get conversions and grow your GCI. Maybe in a year from now, it's something else. But right now, it's definitely Facebook ads. So a lot of the examples I'll share with you are using Facebook marketing as an example. But just realize that high-hanging fruit isn't about a specific tactic. It's really an idea. It's a philosophy, right? It's a new way of just thinking about marketing. This kind of transcends any specific marketing channel. And so, again, I said I'd show you a couple case studies here. This is just a 20-second video of someone who took action on the ideas in this webinar. They were on this webinar around Thanksgiving of last year. We did a similar webinar where it was live. She joined the live webinar, and here's the results that she's created just in the last couple months. This is just a quick 20-second video, just so I can show you and prove to you that this high-hanging fruit idea is legit and that it's working right now.
Hi, this is Michelle Jones from Tennessee. I joined the platform webinar. I signed up, and my results for the first 10 days are that the 2 new listings ads that I ran with platform, I got both under contract in the same day. I also have 5 active buyers that I'm currently working with now, and I also have obtained 3 new listings.
Awesome. So just the numbers, right? The numbers are ultimately all that matter, right? It's not about how many clicks you get on an ad. It's not about how many even leads you get, right? It's about how many actual clients you get. She had 5, I think she said 5 buyers she's working with already and 3 listings. So 5 buyers and 3 listings. And this has all happened for her since Thanksgiving, right? Just from this high-hanging fruit platform strategy. So this really works. All right, so here's what we're going to cover in the next 60 minutes. The reason I want to show you this, as I mentioned earlier, often I do these presentations where, like a top team or a brokerage even hires me and has me come train their brokerage on all this. I spend an entire 8-hour day with brokerages training this. So I'm going to try to condense all of this, this 8 hours of training essentially into an hour-long webinar. So I'm going to go really, really fast here, but this is all what we're going to cover. The main thing is how to specifically set up high-hanging fruit lead gen ads so that you can generate leads, right? Because I know that most realtors don't want to hear a bunch about strategy. They don't want to hear me talk about, the big picture theory, even though that's important, right? You want the specifics. You want the practical next step of how do I actually build these lead generation campaigns so I can get leads. That's what we're going to talk about in this webinar today. Yes, we are going to cover the strategy, but we're also going to get into the practical specifics of how to set up Facebook campaigns, what to have the Facebook ads say, how to target them so that you can get leads. Notice on this slide here that I say that it can double your GCI. I really mean that. We have dozens, literally, we have dozens of case studies of agents that have doubled their business using this strategy. So when I say that it can double your GCI, that's not because we got lucky once and we had 1 person or we had 2 people that doubled their business. We've had dozens and dozens of agents that have actually doubled their GCI as a direct result of using this platform marketing strategy, this idea, right, of high-hanging fruit. So here's a quick video I usually lead with. Again, everyone, if you're just joining us, everyone's going to get a free copy of the book. This is just a quick 30-second video of Jonathan Garrick talking about the impact that reading this book, High-Hanging Fruit, had on his business. So like many of you, Jonathan is a really ambitious agent. He had read all the books that you're supposed to read, right, as a realtor, right? So he'd read the books by Gary Keller, right? He's read The One Thing. He's read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, right? But he was missing a step, right? He felt that there was kind of a missing link in his business plan because a lot of those books, they're great books, right? By Gary Keller. They talk a lot about business planning and crafting your vision and setting goals. But he felt he didn't really know, okay, what's the specific next step? What do I need to know about marketing so that I can actually generate the number of leads that would be necessary to hit my goals, right? So that's the spot that I think a lot of real estate agents find themselves in, is they have these really ambitious, impressive goals, right? But they don't know that next step. They don't know how to specifically generate enough leads so that they can realistically hit their goals. Because if, let's just say in 2018, it's March right now. Let's say that your goal is to add an extra $100,000 in GCI more than you made last year, right? That's a great goal. But if you're not actually doing anything different in your marketing to generate more leads, that's a pretty pointless, irrelevant goal. Like if you're going to set a goal, you need to actually have a marketing strategy in place that'll generate the number of leads necessary to actually hit your goal. So for Jonathan, reading the book High Hanging Fruit was that missing link.
Hi, it's Jonathan Garrick, real estate agent in Southwest Florida with Keller Williams Realty, and I'm here today to talk to you about the book High Hanging Fruit and the platform system. And if you've ever read any of the books by Gary Keller, The One Thing or The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, they give you the real big picture thinking on how to come up with a business plan and to grow your real estate business. This is the rocket fuel to that system to actually how to market your business and yourself effectively. So definitely, if you're interested in this book, pick up a copy and also contact Platform. It was one of the best business decisions I've ever made.
Awesome. So as he said, that was kind of the missing link. If you're just joining us, you are going to get a free copy of the book High Hanging Fruit. All right. And so the last thing I'll mention here as we dive into some of these like marketing slides of, the Facebook ads and how this works is that you might hear me mention high hanging fruit. You might hear me mention platform. In the bottom of all these slides, you see the platform logo. Just so everyone understands, platform is the name of the company I started, where we're a marketing company that realtors can hire if you just want to hire us to manage everything for you. So that's what platform is. I'm the CEO, right? High hanging fruit is the title of the book I wrote for realtors. So you might hear me say like the high hanging fruit strategy. You might hear me say the platform strategy. Those two terms mean the same thing, right? I'm talking about the same thing. Whether I use the term high hanging fruit or platform, it means the same thing. Platform is just the name of the marketing company, and high hanging fruit is the actual name of the book. All right, so everyone is going to get a free copy of that book. Here's another quick video. It's just a 20-second video of Jose. Jose is one of the clients that actually didn't double his business. He didn't triple his business. Jose quadrupled his GCI once he implemented this high hanging fruit idea. Again, so he quadrupled his business.
Hey guys, if you're still skeptical about high hanging fruit, let's just break down the numbers real quick. In 2013, I did 25 deals. I then implemented high hanging fruit platform so that in 2014, I went from 25 to 50 deals. In 2015, I went from 50 deals to 70 deals, baby. And now in 2016, I'm making over 100 transactions so that you know. And now that I have my team in place in 2016, just imagine what I'm going to do in 2017. Make it a phenomenal day.
So obviously he filmed that video for us in 2017. So it's about a year old now, but trust me, Jose is still doing very, very, very well. But since hiring platform and since implementing the system, he has actually quadrupled his business. And the one thing I'll say that Jose didn't really mention in this video is he doesn't have a big team. So he's not doing 100 transactions, but he has a team of 7 or 8 agents. It's literally just him, an assistant, and 1 buyer's agent. So he's doing 100 transactions with basically 1 buyer's agent. So that is really, really impressive. So that's something he didn't mention, but I do want you to realize that it didn't take him a team of 8 people to hit 100 transactions. It's basically just him and 1 other agent. So if you didn't already notice, I talk fast, so please grab a pen and paper. I am trying to get through about 8 hours of marketing training in this hour-long webinar here. So please grab a pen and paper. All right, so I'm not going to talk about this much, but this is the first book I published. So prior to actually writing and publishing High Hanging Fruit, my first book was Main Street Marketing. This book was not intended for realtors. It was just written really for any small business owner, right? Any local brick and mortar small business owner, whether you owned an ice cream parlor or an auto dealership or a restaurant, maybe a retail store. This was just written for any sort of small business owner, right? But what happened was a lot of real estate agents read this book and they started taking action on some of the lead generation strategies that I talked about in the book of how to get more customers for your business. And it worked so well for real estate agents that their businesses just took off. And a couple of them ended up hiring me as a consultant. They contacted me and they just talked about how well this is working. And so I worked with them even further in kind of like a consulting type of relationship, and their businesses grew even more. And so I realized I was kind of onto something. These strategies work really well for any small business owner, but they just seem to work, I guess, especially well for real estate agents. And so it works so well for these couple of consultant clients that I worked with that I ended up writing an entirely new book from scratch. And that book that I wrote is High Hanging Fruit. So this High Hanging Fruit book I keep talking about, again, everyone is going to get a free copy of this. This is a book written specifically for real estate agents. You are going to get a free copy. So this is a legit 200-page book. It's not like a 30-page, digital download, right? It's a legit 200-page book written specifically for realtors. To my knowledge, it's really only it's the only marketing book for real estate agents I've ever seen. There's marketing books, and then there's books written for real estate agents, but there's really not any marketing books specifically written for realtors that I know of. So again, everyone is going to get a free copy of this book. All right, cool. So with all that taken care of, let's dive into this. When I do these consulting days, I talk about the first lesson I usually teach, and the first idea I really want you to grasp is the two variables that can move your business forward. And that's where to invest your time versus where to invest your money. Long story short, most agents are doing the exact opposite of what they should be doing. So the two variables to grow your business: where to invest your time and where to invest your money. If you imagine like the sales funnel, right? That stereotypical sales funnel. It's basically like an upside down triangle, right? Like the funnel, right? Where it's widest at the top and then it gets more narrow as it goes to the bottom. Most agents are investing their time at the top of the funnel to generate leads, and they invest their money at the bottom of the funnel, buying leads, right? So with whatever advertising budget they have, they use that at the bottom of the funnel, buying these low-hanging fruit leads, right? Where they buy leads from Realtor.com, or they buy leads from Zillow, right? So, really whether their advertising budget is $300 a month or $3,000 a month, right? They buy leads. So like by definition, if you're at the bottom of the funnel, by definition, that's low-hanging fruit, right? It's even a giveaway with the type of language we use, like the words. When you say you're buying leads, like you use the verb buy, you're basically saying that a lead is a commodity. All right, it's just something that's bought and sold. You can buy leads when you need them, right? But keep in mind, these are real people. Like these are real people that have a sales cycle. Like just because you're buying a lead the month that they're ready to go, when they opted in on Zillow, doesn't mean that that person didn't start searching, online, doing some research 6 months before they ever went on Zillow and actually gave their contact information, right? So what most agents do, because this is what they've been taught their entire career, is they invest all their time at the top of the funnel generating leads. And with whatever marketing budget they have, they buy leads at the bottom of the funnel, right? So when I say they invest their time at the top of the funnel, what I mean is that the way that they're trying to grow their business, the way that they're trying to generate leads is that they're basically making a bunch of cold calls, right? They might have, got a dialer and they got a subscription to, Red X or Vulcan, something like that, right? And right when the fresh report of like the latest expired listings gets released, boom, they're calling the expired listings right away, or they're calling all the FSBOs right away, right? And they're time blocking an hour a day, or they're time blocking 2 hours a day to just make a ton of cold calls every day. They're investing their time generating leads in the form of making a bunch of calls. Or maybe if you've been in the business for a long time, you have a big database, and maybe you time block 20, 30 minutes a day, just calling your past leads, calling your sphere, asking for referrals, right? But the point is, you're using your time to generate leads. The main ingredient, like the fuel of growing your business, is you investing your time, right? Maybe you join networking groups around town, right? You're in like a BNI group, right? And you're trying to network with other professionals in the area to get your name out, into the business circles, so that when people think of real estate, they think of you, right? Or maybe you're really, really active intentionally in your children's school or in your church, right? Because you want your face to be out there. You want your name to be out in the community so people know, that you're a real estate agent, right? So most agents have been taught from like the first day that they got their license, they've been taught to invest their time to generate leads. And then with whatever budget they have, they basically buy leads at the bottom of the funnel, right? So they invest their time at the top of the funnel. They invest their money at the bottom of the funnel. The problem with doing this, and I'll get to this in a second. The problem with doing this, though, is that if your time is how you're generating leads, that will always be the constraint in you growing your business. So even if it works, the problem is that that's what's actually going to hold you back from taking your business to the next level if your time is the main ingredient in growing your business, because eventually you run out of time once you get too busy. And so it works for a little bit, but it's not a very scalable strategy. Investing your time at the top of the funnel and your money at the bottom, that's not a very scalable strategy. It works to get to around 100K a year in GCI. So if you're just getting started, it's a pretty good strategy. But the problem is once you get to around 100,000 in GCI, it's not very scalable because you literally run out of hours in the day, right? So what I teach agents to do is actually flip this model. Do the exact opposite of what other agents are doing. Do the exact opposite. So we're going to invest our money at the top of the funnel, generating leads, so that we can invest our time at the bottom of the funnel. This is the important part. Only following up with leads that our marketing system warmed up for us. All right, so let me say it again. We're going to do the opposite of what all the other realtors are doing. We're going to invest our money generating leads at the top of the funnel. So we're going to build a marketing system that generates leads constantly, right? Without you having to cold call anyone. We're going to build a marketing system at the top of the funnel that generates leads so that the only investment of our time is following up with leads that were already warmed up for us, right? So this is a game changer in your business, because rather than, time blocking 2 hours a day to make cold calls, you can maybe just follow up for half hour a day or 45 minutes a day, and you can do more follow-up in that 45 minutes than most agents are doing in 2 hours, or sometimes even 3 hours of cold calling, because you're only following up with warm leads. Again, so if you do the opposite, if you spend money at the top of the funnel to generate leads so that you're following up with only warm leads when you're actually investing your time, you can actually accomplish more in 45 minutes of follow-up than many agents are doing if they time block the entire morning just to make cold calls, right? Because you're following up with quality leads, like leads who actually want to hear from you, warm leads. So it's not cold calling, it's warm calling, right? Or if it's email follow-up or text message follow-up, you're following up with leads who actually want to hear from you, right? So another reason I love this high-hanging fruit idea is that, as I mentioned before, the leads themselves are so much cheaper, right? They're so much cheaper. Every $100 you spend realistically should generate about 30 leads. That's the average. I'm not like cherry picking that example. That's actually the average of realtors who work with us at Platform. Every $100 they spend on ads brings in 30 leads. So you can see how it actually isn't that hard to double your GCI, because you keep hearing me say it, right? You can double your GCI, you can double your GCI. I'm being serious, guys. I'm not trying to be like sensational. I'm not overhyping this. I'm dead serious. You can absolutely double your GCI if you have enough leads coming in. The problem is that most agents don't have enough lead flow to where the math makes sense, right? Most agents spend $100 on ads and maybe get 2 or 3 leads, right? You've spent maybe $100 boosting a Facebook post before, and you maybe got 1 or 2 people that messaged you, right? Well, you're not going to close 50% of online leads, right? So it's not like you get 2 leads and then one of them converts and buys a house with you, right? Like your closing rate's never going to be 50%. So you have to have enough leads coming in where the math works. And so you can see how, yes, you absolutely can double your business, or, in some cases even triple your business, triple your GCI, if the leads coming in are cheap enough, because then the math just works. The math makes sense. So typically, again, we see every $3 you spend, you'll get a lead. So every $100 you spend, you're getting at least 30 new leads coming in, right? So all you'd have to spend really is $300 a month on ads or $400 a month on ads, and you're going to have 100 to 150 new leads coming in every single month, right? So if you had 100 to 150 leads coming in every month, you can see how it's really not that hard to grow your business, right? Because most agents are trying to scrape by getting a half dozen leads a month, or maybe 10 leads a month if they're lucky, right? That's what this is all about. The specific reason these leads are so cheap is that there's no competition for high-hanging fruit leads. All the other agents out there are fighting over low-hanging fruit leads. They're buying leads from Zillow, they're buying leads from, Realtor.com, or they're getting their leads from, Boomtown, Commissions Inc., right? They're basically fighting over the same pool of leads, right? They're all fishing in the same pond, right? And so because that's where all the competition is, it just bids up the price of the leads. That's how all online advertising works, whether it's Google, Facebook, whatever. It works as an implicit auction system. So if that's where all the people are searching for leads, automatically the leads get more expensive. And then if you throw more money at it, you're just bidding up the price of the leads. And so you're actually going to get even more expensive leads if you try to solve the problem by just throwing money at it. So that's why I teach high hanging fruit. Is I don't want to play that game of trying to outbid other realtors to get leads, right? Because that's a losing battle, even if you win, because then you're just buying really, really, really expensive leads, right? We want to play a different game entirely. So we want high hanging fruit leads, or we're going to intentionally structure our marketing campaigns. So even in the headlines, even in the wording, I'll show you how to use in your ads, like in your Facebook ads, we intentionally want to appeal to someone who's 3 or 4 months away, right? Because those people, most agents aren't even thinking of reaching them, right? Most agents want someone who's ready to go, this week, right? So even in a Facebook ad, even just by having a Facebook ad say something like, hey, if you're thinking about buying a home in the summer of 2018, here's a free report on what you need to know 90 days before you buy a home, right? Because it is March right now, right? It's March 8th, 2018 today, right? So if you were to run an ad offering a free report of, let's say you're in Tampa Bay, Florida, right? Like you could create a free report of the 20 things you need to know 90 days before you buy a home in the Tampa area. And then you offer this free report, and you run a Facebook ad that says, hey, if you're thinking about buying a home this summer, now is the time to read our free report. Here's what you need to know 90 days before you buy or sell a house here, right? So even just using wording like that, using language like that is obviously going to attract people that, guess what, aren't planning to buy a house until the summer. And the conversion rate on these is a lot higher because it's just much more casual, right? If someone's in the phase where they're quote unquote doing research, right? They're just kind of doing some research. They're not actually ready to do anything for maybe 2 or 3 months or maybe even 4 months, right? If they're just doing research, they're actually a lot more likely to sign up for information because it's just more casual, right? Because when someone signs up for Zillow, it's like, boom, they get called with like, phone calls from like 10 or 15 or 20 just overzealous agents that are buying those leads because the agents know they're in competition with each other. Basically, the first person who calls them will probably win the business, right? So by moving higher up the funnel and targeting high-hanging fruit, trying like intentionally to generate leads that are 90 days out or even 4 months out, you don't really have competition. And because of just how online marketing works with bidding and cost per click, if there's no competition, the clicks are really, really cheap, right? If the clicks are cheap, the leads are cheap. So that's why I'm saying there's a very true like mathematical reason that this strategy works. It's not that I just like stumbled upon some super duper Facebook ad, right? It's that the strategy itself inherently guarantees the leads are going to be cheaper if there's less competition, because that's how auctions work, right? If there's no competition, it's automatically a buyer's market because you're the only buyer, right? You're the only one that's bidding on those leads. And so you're going to get leads very, very cheaply. We have some agents that work with us at Platform, guys, that get 250 leads every month, sometimes even 300 leads a month. So, I mean, every day, 30 days a month, they're bringing in almost 10 leads. And so you can see how you could grow your business very quickly if you have numbers like that working for you. So I have this text message on the screen. I have a bunch more of these. I'm not going to bore you with a bunch more screenshots, but the reason I wanted to show you this one specifically is that, he said, yeah, dude, this really does work. It's easy. This kid is 19 years old, literally a 19-year-old real estate agent. He recently graduated high school. And so I want to show you this because if a 19-year-old can grasp this strategy, and understand this strategy and implement this high-hanging fruit idea, right? If a 19-year-old can do it, you can too. His name is Keaton. He's a realtor in Wisconsin. So the next thing I want to talk about here is as you start to just build the framework around how this marketing strategy is going to work for you, and you start thinking about how you can apply it to your business in your market, whether you're in Salt Lake City or Wichita, Kansas, or Dallas, Texas, or, Norfolk, Virginia, wherever you are, right? Just think about where you're at in your business. How many transactions are you doing a year? When I first started consulting with realtors, I noticed this kind of weird like phenomenon, I guess, where a lot of agents would hit plateaus in their business. And I noticed that the the plateau where they just got stuck and they just couldn't figure out why their business wasn't growing. They couldn't figure out kind of how to break through. It usually happened right around 30 transactions a year, right? So like, obviously it wasn't 30 on the dot. For most agents, it's, 28 or 31 or 34. It's not literally exactly 30 closings a year, but right around 30 closings a year. I noticed when I looked at kind of the whole of all the agents I was consulting with, those that hit a plateau, it always happened right around 30 deals a year. And this was really confusing to me at first because I was like, why is it 30? Why is it not 20? Why is it not 60? Or why is it not 45? It was always right around 30 transactions a year that agents seemed to hit a plateau, and they just couldn't figure out why their business couldn't grow beyond that. And what I realized is that it's because all these agents were using their time to generate leads, right? And right around 30 transactions a year, most agents literally run out of time, right? They literally run out of hours in the day. Because if you're time blocking a couple hours every morning to make cold calls, whether it's calling expireds, calling FSBOs, whatever, it makes it very, very difficult to get more clients in because you have to actually follow up with those clients. You have to show them houses, you have to go on home inspections, you have to attend showings, you have to go on listing appointments, you have to negotiate offers, go to closings. I mean, all the, schedule photographs, right? All the things that you do as a real estate agent, you can't just spend all your day doing follow-up and calling leads because you actually have to have enough hours in the day to be a real estate agent, right? And what I saw is that often this was happening right around 30 transactions a year, right? People would literally run out of time in their day. And so what you have to do then is build a marketing system that generates leads for you so that your time isn't the main ingredient in the growth of your business. Because if you've basically been hustling, right? That's like the popular word right now, right? You got to hustle, man, right? If you've been hustling to grow your business, that's great. And that can work to get you to around 30 transactions a year. But the problem is that's the exact thing that's going to keep you stuck because that's the constraint that you can't break through, right? If time is the main ingredient, if time is like the fuel of how you've grown your business, you're just putting in the time, you're putting in the hours, right? That's the exact reason you won't be able to grow beyond that because there's not enough hours left in the day, right? Like if you're doing 30 transactions a year, let's say you're making about $200,000 a year, right? Doing about 30 transactions a year as an agent. I don't even have to ask you. I already know if you're at that point where you did, let's say 32 transactions last year, right? I already know that you're working 50 hours a week or more. There's no agents that are doing 30 transactions a year that are working 30 hours a week or they're working part-time, right? I already know you're a full-time agent and you're not just full-time. You're not just 40 hours a week, right? You're working 50 hours a week, maybe even more, right? That's almost like a sick joke that the rest of the world thinks that like a full-time job is 40 hours a week, right? It's like most realtors are like 40 hours a week. Like, what do you do after Wednesday, right? And so I already know without having to ask you, I already know that if you're doing around 30 transactions a year, that you're probably working 50 hours a week. The reason I say that is that most agents just think they'll double the inputs and then the outputs will also double. So they just think, oh, cool, I'll just work harder, right? If working as hard as I am right now got me to 30, I'll just work harder and then that'll maybe get me to 60. I can double my business. Well, what are you going to do? Literally go from 50 hours a week to 100 hours a week? Like that's not possible. You can't work 100 hours a week. So you can't just hustle harder. You can't just work more to grow your business. You actually have to change the actual structure of how your business is structured, right? So it's not just like, work smart, not hard, right? That's not really doing this justice, what I'm saying. You have to actually build an entirely new business structure. You have to build a marketing system that generates leads for you. So the only time that you're spending is following up with warm leads. That's what this is about. If you don't do that, it'll actually be literally impossible for you to grow your business because you will run out of hours in the day. Even working 12 hours a day won't be enough. So here's an example of someone who actually quadrupled their business after working with us. And trust me, they're not working more. They're actually working less because they're following up with warm leads.
Hey guys, Paul Gillespie team at Keller Williams Gateway. Before I met Tim and implemented the platform marketing system, I was selling about 15 houses a year. I'm 3 years into it. The second year, I sold 25. This year, I'm going to sell 60. And then next year, our goal is to sell 100. So the platform system is a real deal. I could not have scaled my business so quickly without it. Thank you.
So again, like, yes, you can grow your business from, 15 to 25 to 60, but it's not by just working more hours, right? You need to actually build a marketing system that scales. And so again, if your marketing system is generating leads for you, then the only people that you have to actually follow up with are warm leads. This is a game changer, and this is what most agents are missing about growing their business. Like, it literally doesn't matter how much money you throw buying leads on Zillow or buying leads at, on realtor.com. Doesn't matter how much money you invest in more pay-per-click ads with Boomtown or with Commissions Inc. or running ads with Curator, right? Like, you could throw as much money at it as you want, but if you're only following up with, cold leads, your time is always going to be a constraint in growing your business. And so all the companies I just named, I usually talk about this as like the Google industrial complex. And so let's actually talk for a second about why most leads are so expensive now in 2018 if you're a realtor. I call this like the Google industrial complex. So you might think that you're buying your leads from Boomtown, or you might think that you're getting your leads from Commissions Inc. Or you might think that you're getting your leads from Curator, or you're getting your leads right from realtor.com or from Zillow. I'm telling you that you're really getting your leads from Google, right? Because where do you think all these companies get the leads in the first place, right? They're getting them from Google. You're basically just buying them at the retail level, and all these other companies are essentially just a wholesaler, for Google leads. And so if you're getting your leads from Boomtown, ask yourself, where did Boomtown get the leads? They're getting them from Google pay-per-click ads. If you're getting your leads from, Sync, if you're getting your leads from Commissions Inc., right? Where did Sync get the leads? They got them from Google. If you're buying leads from Zillow, right? Even where do you think Zillow gets all of its traffic so that they can sell the leads to you? They're getting that traffic. They're getting all those clicks from Google, right? So no matter where you're getting your leads, basically 99% of the real estate industry today revolves around getting leads from Google pay-per-click ads, right? So you're really just all these companies I mentioned, Curator, Boomtown, Commissions Inc., Zillow, Realtor.com, Ylopo, all of them, right? The entire business model is they're basically just a middleman for Google leads. Like they get the clicks from Google, and then they sell you the leads, they mark it up, and they make a profit, right? I'm not saying it's like immoral or evil or anything like that. Like, that's just the reality of the business. That's capitalism. That's awesome, right? There's nothing wrong with it. You just need to realize that that's how it works. And so all these companies, again, the business model is they're essentially just a middleman for Google ads. The problem is Google ads, like the actual clicks on Google for home buyers, have become ridiculously more expensive in the last couple of years than they were, let's say, 5 years ago. And so all these companies are just passing the cost on to you as the consumer, so you have to pay more expensive leads, right? If you've been running ads on Zillow, I'll just use this as an example. If you've been buying leads from Zillow for the last 5 years, I guarantee you that you are getting fewer leads today. Let's say that you were spending $1,000 a month, like just constantly $1,000 a month. I guarantee you are getting fewer leads today in March of 2018 than if you had been buying leads on Zillow in, let's say, March of 2014, right? You're getting fewer leads for the same amount of money. So essentially the leads are getting way more expensive, right? Why is that? It's the same thing with Boomtown, same thing with, Commissions Inc., same thing with Homes.com, Realtor.com, all of them. The leads are just more expensive now. It's a worse deal than it was a couple years ago. Why is that? They're all getting their leads from Google, right? And when Google gets more expensive, all these companies just pass on that extra cost to you. So the question is then, why is Google more expensive? Well, if you look at the actual rate of home ownership in the United States, the same amount of people are buying homes now as they were about 5 years ago. So the actual rate of home buyers, like the number of people searching online to buy homes, really hasn't changed a whole lot in the last 5 years. It's basically constant when you factor in for, inflation, population growth. It's more or less the same, right? But what has changed is there's way more real estate agents that have kind of woken up, I guess, in the last couple of years, and they're realizing that the future of marketing is online. And so a lot of agents in the last couple of years have kind of slowed down what they're spending on billboards. They've slowed down the newspaper advertising. They've slowed down maybe what they were spending on farming and direct mail, and they're kind of shifting that shifting that marketing budget over into online advertising. You know, they sign up with Real Geeks or the Curator or Boomtown, Commissions Inc. They're buying leads, you know, from Zillow, right? And so basically, there's this massive shift of advertising dollars from realtors that has moved from offline into online, right? And so it's just basic supply and demand, right? It's like what we learned about in economics class in like junior high, right? If the same amount of people are searching online for homes as they were 5 years ago, but there's way more agents that are bidding on those leads, right? It means that the supply is staying the same, but the demand has gone way up, right? So again, what did you learn in junior high in economics class? If the supply stays the same, but the demand goes way up, what happens? The price rises, right? This is basic. Like you learn about this when you're like 10 years old, right? Supply and demand. If supply stays the same, demand goes way up, the price rises. That's why Google pay-per-click is so much more expensive for realtors than it was just a couple years ago. There's so many more agents bidding up the cost of those clicks. And if the clicks are way more expensive, the leads are going to be a lot more expensive. And so that's why, you know, the same $1,000 maybe that you were spending on Zillow ads 5 years ago, today gets you way fewer leads, even though you're still spending the same $1,000. And so it's just not a very good deal. So rather than just throwing more money at the problem, which is what some agents do, they're like, oh, I'm getting fewer leads, I guess I'll just have to spend more money, right? That actually makes the problem worse because you're just bidding up the price of the leads even higher when you do that. So like paradoxically, by throwing more money at the problem, it actually gets worse because you're just bidding up the cost of those leads. So rather than trying to just throw more money at Google ads, you know, again, whether you're getting your leads from Zillow, Boomtown, whatever, they're getting all of those clicks from Google. So you might think I'm getting Boomtown leads or I'm getting Zillow leads. You're getting Google leads. It's what you're getting because all those companies are getting the clicks from Google, right? So rather than doing that, I want to use a different strategy entirely. We're going to use Facebook ads. Facebook is really the wild, wild west of online advertising right now. Facebook is where Google was like 5 to 7 years ago, where there's billions of people using it, like billions with a B, right? Billions of people using it, but hardly anyone knows how to do Facebook marketing the right way, right? So it's this really incredible opportunity, right? Facebook is the wild, wild west of online advertising. Again, you know, Google was an incredible opportunity back in 2013, 2014, you know, 2015, because the clicks were really cheap. If you knew what you were doing, you could get great deals, right? And even before that too, as far back as, you know, 2011, 2012, it was still a great deal, right? Facebook is a great deal now. Facebook is where Google was 5 years ago, 7 years ago. So if you want to get a lot of leads and really, I guess, implement and execute this high-hanging fruit strategy the right way, I really recommend Facebook ads. My company, we manage probably over, you know, at Platform, we manage anywhere between $100,000 to $150,000 a month in Facebook ads for our clients. Just actually our company alone. So like not even counting all the realtors, but just our company, when we run ads, we spend about $10,000 to $15,000 a month just advertising ourselves on Facebook. So I'm not saying this in theory. I'm saying this because I put my money where my mouth is. Like Facebook is where you should be marketing right now. Again, 5 years ago, it was Google. You know, maybe in 5 years, it's some social network or some website that doesn't even exist yet that we've never heard of, right? But today, in March of 2018, if you as a real estate agent are not spending your money on Facebook ads, you are missing out, right? So let's talk about how to do Facebook advertising. And just so you guys know, I'm going to share with you like the specific Facebook ads that you should be doing. I don't want you to think that we're just talking about theory here, right? We are going to get into the actual specific Facebook ads that are working right now to generate leads, right? As we do that, realize what makes a Facebook ad work. Well, you have to offer real value. That's what it's about. You have to offer real value. The reason that most ads don't work is that the agents are just advertising a picture of one of their listings, right? Or they're advertising a picture of themselves. It's basically like their smiling face, maybe the logo of their broker in the corner somewhere, you know, just for compliance reasons, because you always have to have the broker's logo on there, right? You maybe have your website, you have your phone number. If you're a lender and you're advertising, you probably have to have like your license number on there somewhere, you know, again, for compliance reasons, but more or less all realtor ads look the same. Whether you're advertising in a newspaper, advertising, you know, on a billboard, advertising in like an insert in a Homes magazine, whatever, most ads look the same. Like, you know what I'm talking about? It's basically just hey, here's my smiling photo. Please call me when you're ready. It basically just gives your phone number. That's the call to action. Like, call me when you're ready to buy, or call me when you're ready to sell, right? It's not really offering anything of value to the actual buyer or seller. It just says, call me when you're ready, right? And this is a problem because for an ad to work, we have to actually offer something of value, right? It can't just be, hey, call me when you're ready. Call me when you're ready to go, right? We have to actually offer something of value. And so ask yourself, what got you on this webinar today? Like, why are you on this webinar right now, on Thursday morning, March 8th, 2018? Why did you join this webinar? I'll tell you why. It's because we offered you a free copy of our book. We offered you something of value. As kind of a thank you, as kind of a bonus of joining us on the webinar, we were willing to offer you something of value, right? You had to actually make a conscious choice that investing, an hour of your time with us was worth it to get the book, right? So that's why we offered a free book. Just some inside baseball on the stats on this webinar. I think we spent about $1,000 on the webinar. We had like 250 people sign up, right, for the webinar, which means that we spent about $4 per lead. So even though we're running an ad targeting real estate agents across like the entire United States of America, right, it still means that our cost per lead was only $4. So we spent $1,000 promoting this webinar and we got 250 agents to sign up, right? So $4 cost per lead. You can get way cheaper leads than that if you're only targeting your immediate area. Most realtors will only run ads in probably a 10 square mile area. And so like if I can get $4 leads basically blanketing the entire United States of realtors, if you're targeting that micro of an area, your lead should be able to be a lot cheaper than $4 a lead. But that's how the math works. I'm just saying this because you're on this webinar right now. I mean, just be honest with yourself. Why are you on the webinar? It's because you wanted a free copy of the book, because the book was valuable to you. It was a fair trade, right? Lead generation is actually really simple. If you're taking notes, if you have a pen and paper, please write this down. Lead generation is as simple as offering something of value in exchange for someone's contact information. Or worded differently, lead generation is as simple as trading something of value in exchange for someone's contact information. Maybe I like that definition a little bit better, actually. Lead generation is as simple as trading something of value in exchange for someone's contact information. Again, I know that most of you probably wouldn't have shown up to the webinar this morning if there was no free gift, if there was no free bonus, right? Like, what you really wanted is the book. And so you showed up to the webinar, right? Like, let's just be honest. It is what it is, right? So I offered something of value and you actually made a conscious decision. Like, you had to have thought about this for at least a couple seconds, right? This is an actual thought you had. Well, I don't know if I want to go on that webinar, but that does sound like a good deal. I do want a free copy of that book. So I guess I'm willing to invest my time. I'm willing to give them my contact information. I'm willing to trade my time so that I get a copy of that book. I am willing to make that trade, right? And so to sign up for the webinar, we got your name, your email, your phone number, and I know that Mitch has been emailing you guys, that Mitch has been texting you. And so the strategy worked to get you on the webinar, right? We got your name, email, and phone number because you want the book. And so you have to apply that same psychology to your lead generation as a realtor. If you're not generating leads and you're frustrated because maybe your marketing isn't working right now, don't worry about like specific Facebook tactics or whatever. Worry about the actual strategy. Like, think a little bit bigger picture. You're probably just not offering enough value in your ads. It's like when you were a kid maybe and you traded like dolls, like the Barbie dolls, with your friends, or if you were a boy, maybe you traded baseball cards with your buddies, right? If you had like a Babe Ruth, like rookie card, right? Like a super valuable card, maybe worth hundreds of dollars, you wouldn't just trade it for some random card of some baseball player that no one's ever heard of, right? You want to get a fair trade. It's the same thing. Most agents, are like running ads that say, click here to get a free home report. I'll send you a free analysis of your home's value, right? That's the most common Facebook ad I see from agents. It's hilarious. It's like, do you actually expect people to give their full address of their house, their phone number, their name, their email, their, all that stuff, just so you can send them an analysis of what you think their home is worth? Because let's be honest, guys, everyone knows you can't actually give someone a real home value analysis unless you've toured the house, right? You can't just type in an address and boom, like a property value spits out, right? You have to actually go in there and see the condition of the house, all that stuff, right? And so if that's the way that you're generating leads, you know, that's not a fair trade. That's not a fair trade at all. Like, why would someone give you all their contact information, right? It needs to be a fair trade. So start thinking about lead generation and your Facebook ads as a fair trade. Like, you're trading something of value in exchange for someone's contact information, right? And so as we dive into a couple of these like specific Facebook ad examples, just realize that the way that I guess most agents generate leads, and when I say most, I mean like 99% of agents, okay? The way that most agents are generating leads today is they get an IDX website, right? They sign up for a website with, you know, Boomtown or Commissions Inc. or Curator or Real Geeks, right? There's tons of websites out there that, you know, more or less do the same thing, right? So you get an IDX website and it allows people to search for listings on your website, right? What happens is that they go to your website once they've been looking at maybe 4 homes or they've been on your website for at least 30 seconds, then boom, they get an automatic pop-up. It's coded right into the programming of the website that whenever someone's been on your website for 30 seconds, right, they get this pop-up. And the pop-up asks them, hey, you know, you have to register to look at more homes. You have to create an account to continue searching for homes, right? And then it demands that they give over their name, email, and phone number, right? Or else they can't keep looking at homes. Like, they have to register, they have to create an account, right? Like, that's not a fair trade. I mean, be honest with yourself. That's not a fair trade. They didn't want you to contact them. They didn't want to give their name, email, and phone number to you. They just were casually doing some research, casually looking at homes, right? That's not a fair trade. That's more of like a hostage situation, right? It's like, hey, give me your name, email, and your phone number, or else, right? It's like a hostage situation. And so it's no wonder that that strategy doesn't work anymore, right? Because these consumers aren't dumb. These home buyers aren't stupid. They know they can go to Realtor.com or they can go to Zillow and they can search for homes for free without having to create an account. So why the hell would they give you all their contact information knowing that you'll follow up and probably annoy them, right? I mean, let's just be honest. Why would they do that when they can just search for free on Zillow and, you know, on Realtor.com? That's just an outdated strategy for generating leads. And furthermore, it really shouldn't be that surprising that the vast amount of, you know, the vast majority, I guess, of leads that are generated this way, where you give a pop-up and you're forcing them to create an account, you know, on your website, the vast majority of those leads are fake. It's fake emails, fake phone numbers. You know, they're putting fake contact information because they didn't really want you to contact them. They just wanted to look at homes, right? And so it's just like an epidemic right now in the industry with Boomtown, Commissions Inc. You know, I hear all the time, like, yeah, I'm getting leads from, you know, my marketing system. Again, whether they're using Curator, you know, Sync, Boomtown, whatever. I hear agents say all the time, yeah, I'm getting leads, but the majority of them are fake. Like, it's fake phone numbers, fake email addresses, et cetera. Or the, you know, the phone number is 0000000, right? It's just obviously fake info, right? That shouldn't surprise you because you're not really offering anything of value in the ad. And yet that's what most agents are doing. Do you know that most of these website guys, like these IDX websites, only converted about 2 to 3% of the unique visitors? And so if you get 100 visitors to your website in a day, usually only 2 or 3% are actually signing up. And so 97% of people aren't giving you their contact information. If that's not inefficient, if that's not like an inefficient way of generating leads, I don't know what is. That you're wasting 97% of the traffic to your website. And then of the 2 or 3% that sign up, half of those are fake anyways, right? So that's a terrible way of generating leads, yet that's what the majority of realtors do. And so if you just put a little bit more creativity into it, you can generate more leads than you could possibly imagine, like more leads than you could probably even follow up with in a day. So now let's talk about some of the specific Facebook ads that I know are proven to work. So the first one I'll give you guys, right? Again, if you're taking notes, I hope you're writing this down. The first one I'll give you guys is what I call the Pool Homes Report. This is one of my favorite Facebook ads because it generates both buyers and listings. So this will get you seller leads too. So I call it the Pool Homes Report. Basically what we're doing in this Facebook ad is we're offering a free report of homes in your area that are for sale that have a pool, right? The reason we do this is because, you know, it's not that there's anything special about a home with a pool, or there's not anything special about working with buyers that want a home with a pool, right? The specific reason we do this is that if a buyer is buying a home with a pool, like statistically, they're probably an existing homeowner, right? So no one is out there buying homes with pools as a first-time home buyer. Like statistically, I mean, it's probably 95% of people that buy a house with a pool they're an existing homeowner and they're moving up. It's a move-up buyer. And so that means that to buy the house with the pool, they'll have to sell their existing house to get the money to, you know, buy that larger, nicer home with the pool. And so when you get these leads from the Pool Homes Report, it's not just a buyer lead, it's also a seller lead. And so you're getting a listing and a buyer side out of it. So I love the Pool Homes Report ad. What the Facebook ad says is just like, let's say you're in, let's say you're in like Nashville, right? You would say like, attention Nashville. So this is what the Facebook ad says. Attention Nashville. I've created a custom report of homes for sale in Nashville that have pools. If you're wanting to buy a home with a pool in 2018, click here to get the report. It's free. And then, you know, you drive them to a landing page like, you know, www.nashvillepoolhomesreport.com, something like that, right? So attention Nashville, I've created a free report of all the homes for sale that have pools. You can view the homes here. You know, go to www.nashvillepoolhomesreport.com. And then, of course, you set up a landing page there. You capture their contact information. I've done this with literally over 100 agents. And just so you guys know, the average conversion rate on that landing page for a Pool Homes Report is around 20%. And so where most agents on their IDX websites are getting like 2%, if you create a specific ad for a specific free report of, you know, homes with pools, your conversion rate on the landing page isn't 2%, it's more like 20%. So 10 times higher than what most agents are getting from their advertising. And so because of the conversion rate being so high, usually the leads only cost about $3 a piece. So that's what the ad looks like. And then the actual ad itself is just like an image of a home with a pool in your area. So people know kind of what type of homes are on that free report you're going to send them, right? How we target that Facebook ad is we're targeting homeowners that are over the age of 30, or sometimes we'll even use college graduates over the age of 30 as kind of just like a proxy for, you know, a family that probably is homeowners. And so that's how I do the Facebook targeting on the back end, is homeowners over the age of 30 or just college graduates over the age of 30. Because keep in mind, this ad, like the Pool Homes Report, is not just getting us buyer leads, it's getting us listing leads. Because what we know is that like almost all the leads coming in, it looks like a buyer ad. Like it looks like we're trying to generate buyer leads. But what we kind of secretly know is that pretty much everyone signing up probably already owns a house, right? Because if they're thinking about buying a home with a pool, they're already an existing homeowner. And so you're going to get the buy side and you'll get to list their house and help them sell it. And so that's why we target people that are over the age of 30 that are homeowners, because, you know, of course, we want to maximize the likelihood that the people we're paying to show this ad to are actually homeowners, right? So the Pool Homes List is one of my favorite ads. It works like a charm. I mean, we run it for all of our platform clients right now, right? So just so you guys know, I'm not just giving you an ad that I think will work. I already know that this ad works because we run it for all the platform realtors around the country that hire us to manage all their marketing for them. So that's an ad that's working right now. If you're in a part of the country that doesn't have a bunch of pools, right? Because maybe you're you know, in like the Midwest, or you're in, you know, northern Washington state, like in Seattle, or you're in North Dakota, or, you know, somewhere that is a snowy winter and that like there's just not a bunch of pool homes in your area. You know, maybe you're thinking, oh, all right, well, that ad wouldn't work for me. Is there anything else? Yes, there is. You can take the same idea of a Pool Homes Report and do an acreage homes report. So a free report of homes with acreage. It works the same way. It's not that we're trying to get land buyers, right? That's totally missing the point if that's what you think this is about. It has nothing to do with that. It's that we know that if someone is interested in a free report of homes that have acreage, and acreage can mean half an acre, it can mean homes with at least a 1 acre lot, it can mean whatever you want it to mean, right? But if someone is interested in a free report of homes with acreage, again, it's not that there's anything special about those buyers. It's that we know as realtors that just statistically 95% of them are not first-time home buyers. If someone is requesting an acreage homes report, they're probably an existing homeowner that's looking to move up, that's looking to upgrade into, you know, a larger house with a bigger yard or some acreage, right? So if you're somewhere like Minnesota or North Dakota or Iowa or, you know, Montana, Idaho, right? You're somewhere where like pool homes aren't exactly a common thing. I really recommend the acreage homes report. So what the Facebook ad will look like is like, you know, let's say you're in Fargo, North Dakota, right? Attention Fargo. I've created a free report of homes that have at least half an acre of land. You can view the homes here, www.fargoacreagehomesreport.com. right? And then like the photo you use is just a, you know, a photo of a home that looks like you would be in the Fargo area that's on maybe a half acre of land or an acre of land, right? And then they go to the landing page. That's how you get their contact information. They sign up. And how we target this ad is, again, the same way. We target homeowners over the age of 30 or college grads over the age of 30. So that's how I set up the Facebook targeting, just to maximize the likelihood that we're, you know, attracting potential listing leads, right? Because they're going to be both buyers and listings for you. So that's how I set up that ad. The psychology behind the ad is the same thing, right, as the pool homes list. The psychology is the same. We're just shifting to offering a free report of homes with acreage versus a pool homes report, right? But both of those ads typically generate leads for around $3 a piece. And so literally every $100 you spend on that is going to bring in 30 leads or more, right? And so your business can take off really, really quickly just running like one of those two ads. Like another ad that works really, really well is offering just a free report of all the mortgage programs available in your area. So just write a one-page PDF. So you don't need to like type out this huge 10-page report or 20-page report. Just make a couple bullet points, right? A one-page PDF report, let's say, of all the mortgage programs available in your area, whether it's FHA, VA home loans, like the rural development, you know, loans that are no money down, right, to the USDA. There's most states have like home buyer grants at the state level. So like California has certain like down payment assistance programs. Texas has them. Florida has them, right? Just make a quick list, because you probably don't even need to do any research as a realtor. You probably know all the mortgages that are available in your area, probably like off the top of your head, right? So just make a one-page report with a bunch of bullet points that just lists all the mortgages available, and then run a Facebook ad that says, hey, if you're thinking about buying a home this year, I have created a free report of all the mortgages and home buyer discounts available, you know, to home buyers. Click here to get the report, you know. And then if you're in like, let's say Madison, Wisconsin, it could be like www.madisonhomebuyerguide.com or something like that, right? This ad consistently gets leads for like $3 to $4 a piece. And you know that if they're opting in, like if they're signing up for more information about mortgage programs, these are not casual, like looky-loos, right? They're not just casually looking. They're not tire kickers. They're not going to waste your time. These are people that are actively looking because they're at the point where they're wanting to get the specifics of mortgages. And so the type of bait that you use determines what type of animal you catch, right? The type of bait you use determines what animal you catch, right? That's why to incentivize you to be on this webinar, right, we offered a free book, High Hanging Fruit, right? Because we want to attract agents that are looking to grow their business, because that's what Platform does, right? So if you're interested in hiring Platform, I want the type of people on this webinar that actively want to grow their business, right? Because there's a bunch of agents that are already making, you know, $500K a year that maybe aren't super interested in growing their business because they're making enough money, right? Those are not people that are a good fit for Platform. You know, we want agents that are already making 80K that want to start making 200K a year in GCI. Or maybe you're already making 150 and you want to double and get to 300K in GCI, right? So Platform wants agents that are really looking to grow their business, because that's what we can help you do, right? So the type of bait you use determines what type of animal you attract, right? So that's why we offer a free book about growing your business. It's the same thing when you're generating leads. If you offer a free report of all like the home buyer discounts and mortgage programs and whatnot available in your area, you're going to attract people that are very seriously thinking about buying a house. Like they're so serious, in fact, that they're like at the stage of, I guess, the sales cycle where they're doing research about specific mortgage programs, right? That's not a casual buyer. If someone's a year out or they're just doing some research, they're not really diving into specific mortgage programs, right? So that's a really, really good ad too that you can run. That one I don't target 30 plus. I usually target like age 25 plus, just because there are a lot of buyers that are going to be in that, you know, maybe they're 27 years old, they're 28 years old, right? So if you want more examples of ads, because I know that we're basically like out of time right now on the webinar, if you want more examples of ads, I've created a PDF for you at Platform Marketing PDF that will have 5 more specific Facebook ads that you can download. So if you just go over to Platform Marketing PDF right now, you can download that for free, right? It doesn't cost any money. It doesn't cost any money or anything. This is not like an upsell. It's totally free. Just go to www.platformmarketingpdf.com. I'll give you like a second here to go there if you haven't already, so you can get those 5 additional ad ideas. All right, cool. So, by the way, the real reason, if I'm just being honest, the real reason that I have this slide on here isn't that I need to generate leads, right? Because by definition that you're on this webinar, I already have your contact information, right? If you're on this webinar listening to me talk right now, I already have your name, your email, your phone number. We don't need you to get to opt in again, right? The reason I have this slide on here is honestly just to prove to you that that this strategy works. If you offer something of value that people actually want, it's really easy to generate leads, right? That's why the pool homes report works so well. That's why the acreage homes report works so well. That's why the home buyer guide strategy of, you know, offering a free list of all the mortgage programs works so well. You know, that's why this slide here works so well, is that if you actually offer something people want, it's really easy to generate leads. So if you're struggling with your marketing, if you're not generating enough leads to grow your business, the problem is not that there's like a shortage of people out there that are willing to give you their contact information. The problem is that there's a shortage of real estate agents that are willing to put any creativity whatsoever into their marketing that would actually generate leads. And so there's not a shortage of potential buyers out there that are willing to click an ad and give you their contact information. There is a shortage of ads that are worth opting into. Does that make sense? And so again, the real reason I have this slide on here is just to show you that if you actually create something that people would actually want and that they actually value, getting people's contact information is easy, right? It's just that most of us aren't putting like the mental energy and the creative energy into creating offers that people would actually click on and want to sign up for, right? So as we wrap this up, like one of the final reasons I love this high-hanging fruit idea. By the way, we are almost at the point here where I'll give you guys a free copy of the book High Hanging Fruit. So I know that some of you are like, hey, I need the book. We're almost done, guys. So one of the last reasons I love this high hanging fruit marketing philosophy is that it allows you to actually exist in a relationship with your leads beyond just the transaction. Like you actually get to build a relationship with your leads because you're following up over a longer period of time with them. It's not so transactionally driven. And that leads over the long term to more referrals because you actually get to know the leads a lot more than you do when you're just following a sales script, right? And you're, you know, cold calling an expired listener or cold calling a FSBO. You don't really care if you're annoying them. You're just doing anything. You're willing to say anything to get the appointment, right? But if you're generating leads that are 3 or 4 months out, you can actually casually build a relationship with these people, get to know them, and then they're not going to work with other agents because 90 days later, when they're actually ready to get going, they already feel like they know you. They're not going to interview other agents. You've already earned their trust.
In 2016, my team's going to do over 40 lead gen deals. It's not just all about the leads. We're walking up to a listing I have where the owner saw me in a retargeting campaign through a market update video, and now I've got a $450,000 listing. This whole high-hanging fruit marketing campaign strategy, it really works.
I always like I'm showing that video all the way to the end where the dog barks, just because I think it's funny. You know, that's an actual listing that Brandon got though. This is like a $400-something thousand listing that he got using this platform strategy, right? Because you build a relationship with your leads over time, he stayed in touch, and this is what happens, right? So you don't need to cold call, you know, Zillow leads, cold call expired listings, cold call FSBOs. If you actually build a marketing system that provides value to people early on in the process when they're high-hanging fruit, right? They're still 3 months out or 4 months out. You send them an acreage homes report. You send them that home buyer guide we talked about. You send them a pool homes report, right? You just provide value to them, right? You don't need to use these such short-term kind of salesy tactics where you handle objections on the phone and you're doing these like intense sales calls, right? You'll actually have leads coming to you. Obviously, another benefit of this is that you can cultivate hundreds of leads at the same time. Because if your marketing system is generating the leads for you, your day isn't inherently restricted by just how many cold calls you can make, right? Your marketing system is generating leads around the clock, and you only have to follow up with the warm leads that expressed interest. right? So it allows you to work with many more leads at the same time, because maybe in a day you might generate, let's say 7 new leads every single day, because that's about 200 leads a month. If you're getting like 7 leads a day times 30 days a month, of those 7 leads, maybe only 2 people answer when you call them, right? Or maybe only 2 people respond to your emails or text messages. It doesn't mean the other 5 are bad. It means the other 5 just probably aren't ready yet to where they want to talk to a real estate agent, but you can still generate those leads, get them in your system, and follow up with them later, right? So you only have to spend your time with the warm leads. Like, this is a game changer, guys. I hope you realize how different this is than how most agents are structuring their business and doing their follow-up. If you only follow up with the warm leads and just let your system and your retargeting campaigns take care of the rest of those leads so that on their own time, they'll eventually become ready, you can convert a lot higher percentage of leads than what most agents think is possible. It's all about quality of follow-up, not quantity. Like, rather than calling total strangers for 2 hours every day, I would rather you spend half an hour or spend 45 minutes calling warm leads who actually want to talk to you, and you'll actually accomplish more in that half hour than most agents do in 2 hours of cold calling or even 3 hours of cold calling. So as we get to the very end of this webinar here, this is the last slide I'm going to show you guys, and then I'm going to show you a video, one final video of an agent that's just crushing their business using this this platform strategy. And then I'll give you a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit, as we promised. All right. And then after I give you a free copy of the book, if you want, I'm going to share some more information about platform marketing, and we're actually going to give you a trial month of platform marketing if you're interested. So if this webinar piqued your interest, if some of these ads that we're talking about, some of these like retargeting and Facebook marketing strategies are interesting to you, that's what we do at Platform Marketing. You can actually just have us do all of that for you, so you don't have to learn about Facebook ads or how to set up landing pages or how to target ads or anything like that. That's what we do. We can do all that for you. And then as a bonus on top of the free book that we're going to give you, we're also going to offer you a trial month of platform, no strings attached, if you're interested. So I'll share more about that in a minute. So for now, the final slide I have here about fishing upstream, that's what high hanging fruit is all about. It's about fishing upstream so you catch all the fish before they get to where everyone else is fishing. So let's imagine that you and some friends, are at the river, right? You're fishing together. You're just kind of socially fishing. You're having a good time. You're all standing just a couple feet away from each other. So basically all of your lines are cast in the same part, right, of the river. So you're all basically competing over the same fish, right? Because you're all so close to each other, it's a zero-sum game. Like, any fish that you catch is now a fish that your buddy can't catch, right? Any fish that they catch, you can't catch, right? So for you to win, someone else has to lose, right? Because it's a zero-sum game. You're all fishing together in the same area. You're fighting over the same pool of fish, right? So what would happen if you walked upstream 100 feet, right? What would happen if you just walked upstream, just 100 feet, not a mile or anything, just 100 feet, right? You would catch all the fish before they got downstream to where everyone else was fishing, right? You would, essentially intercept all the fish before they got down to where everyone else is fishing. That's exactly what we're doing with this high hanging fruit lead generation strategy. We're fishing upstream. We're intercepting all the leads 90 days out or 4 months out before they're normally ready to go house hunting. So it's March right now. Most people, let's say they're planning on buying in May or they're planning on buying in June. Most people will hop on Zillow in April or May, right? And then they type in their information, and then boom, they get hit with follow-up from 10 different agents or 20 different agents, right? If someone's planning on buying in May or June, I want to generate that lead right now in March so that we can start just very casually following up with them, sending them some listings, just getting some conversation going back and forth, so that when the time comes that they're actually ready to get pre-approved and start looking at houses, or when the time comes, let's say they're a seller lead, when they're ready to actually list their house and put a sign in the yard, they're not going to interview other agents because you've already earned their trust. They'll just work with you, right? Most people don't want the stress of like interviewing agents and going through that whole process. Once they find someone they trust, they'll just go with that person, right? And so if you generate leads using this high-hanging fruit strategy, right, you're intercepting all the leads in your market a couple months before they would ever think to go on Zillow where the other agents are fighting over those leads. So when all the other realtors in your market are fighting over the fruit on the bottom branches, the low-hanging fruit, bring a ladder, climb to the top of the tree, and you'll have all the high-hanging fruit to yourself. You'll have no competition there. All right, you'll have no competition for high-hanging fruit. So I'm going to show you this quick video. This is actually, it's not a 20-second video. It's literally a 10-second video about an agent who has worked with us. And in 2018, he's already scheduled more GCI than he did in all of 2017, thanks to Platform, right? So it's only March right now. He's already got more GCI on the books than he did in the entire year of 2017 because he hired Platform. So I'm going to show you this quick 10-second video, and then I'm going to show you how to get a free copy of the book High Hanging Fruit, as I promised. And then after that, I'll share some more information about Platform if you're interested in having us do all this for you and having us set up all of your marketing campaigns, all your Facebook ads for you. And as I mentioned, as a special bonus, beyond getting the free book, I'm going to give you a trial month of Platform where we'll do all this for you if you're interested. So watch this video, then I'll give you a free copy of the book. Then we can talk more about Platform marketing and having us just do all this for you if you're interested.
I have a pipeline in 2018 that is as large as everything that I closed in 2017. What else can you say?
I like it. What else can you say? So if you guys want a free copy of the book, here's how you can get it. Go to www.highhangingfruitbook.com. So as promised, everyone who's on the webinar is going to get a free copy of that book. So highhangingfruitbook.com. I want to make sure that you type in highhangingfruitbook.com, not www.highhangingfruit.com. It's highhangingfruitbook.com. So that's how you can get a free copy of the book, as promised. So this is a legit 200-page book. It's not like a 10-page book or just a pamphlet or something. It's a real 200-page book. highhangingfruitbook.com. You guys can get it for free. So thank you for joining us on the webinar. And now I want to share a little bit more information about what this platform marketing strategy is. And I'm going to show you guys as an additional thank you, as an additional bonus for joining us on the webinar, we're going to give you a trial month of Platform if you're interested. So Platform Marketing is the company I founded where if you want to, you can just hire us to do all of your marketing for you. What makes it cool is that we only work with one agent per market. So unlike, Curator, unlike Boomtown, Commissions Inc., all these companies I've named, Realtor, Zillow, they work with dozens of agents per market. So if you're in a city like, Charleston, South Carolina, there's dozens or 20 or 30 other agents in your, city using Zillow, using Realtor.com, using a Boomtown website, Sync, Curator, right? We're very, very exclusive. We only work with one agent per city. So not per zip code, but per city. And so we only have one client in the entire Charleston area. So we're really, really strict. We're very exclusive. We're actually only working right now with about 100 realtors around the country. And so it's not something where we have like 1,000 clients or, 500 clients or whatever. We only have about 100 real estate agents around the country, but that's why it works so well, because you will be the only realtor in your entire city. Again, not just your zip code. You'll be the only realtor in your entire city using Platform, because we only work with one agent per market. And so if you guys want to get set up on a trial month of Platform as, another bonus of this webinar, go to platformmarketmap.com. All right, platformmarketmap.com. That's not a big form you have to fill out. There's no, it's not a big lead generation survey or anything. It's just platformmarketmap.com. All we do is we ask you, hey, where do you live? Because all we're trying to do there is figure out, is your market open or do we already have a client in your market? Because again, we only work with one realtor per city. So it only takes like seriously 5 seconds. Platformmarketmap.com. All you have to do is type in where you live, and then we can get you set up on a trial month. So platformmarketmap.com. Here's a story of Crystal, and here are the results that she got in her very first month using the Platform marketing system. So this is her very first month, keep in mind. The first month is a trial month, right? Here's the results that she got.
Hi, this is Crystal Boggs. This is my first week with Platform. I started Tuesday about 4 p.m. By Wednesday, I had 3 buyers pre-approved. By Sunday, 1 was in negotiations, 1 under contract, and 1 still viewing homes. It was an amazing week. Thank you, Platform.
So that's in her very first month using Platform. And keep in mind, your very first month is a trial month too. So the results don't take 6 months to kick in. They don't take 5 months, 4 months. The results happen right away. So again, if you're interested, all you have to do is tell us, hey, what market do you live in? Do you live in Louisville, Kentucky? Do you live in Nashville? Do you live in Idaho? Do you live in Salt Lake City? Do you live in Dallas, Texas? Do you live in Madison, Wisconsin? All you have to do is go to platformmarketmap.com, tell us where you live, and you can get set up on a trial month of platform. Again, the only reason we're asking that is we're just trying to make sure that we don't already have a client in your market, because we only work with one realtor per city. So that's really the only catch, is that, you know, you can do the trial month if we don't already have a client in your area. But, you know, as I said, we only have 100 clients around the country. We're very, very exclusive. So, you know, there's a lot more than 100 cities in the United States of America. So chances are your city is available, right? So again, platformmarketmap.com. Just let us know where you live, and we can get you set up on a trial month, where in that first month, we will do all of your marketing for you. We'll set up your Facebook ads, set up the website, set up your landing pages. We'll set up the email follow-ups. We'll set up text message follow-up for your leads. We'll set up retargeting campaigns. We'll even edit all of your videos for you.
Hey, Brandon, it's Taylor. I'm a real estate agent down here in Tampa. I'm 25 years old. And before I started joining with Platform, I made just under 40 grand, around 35. Last year in 2017, I closed over 7 million, made over 150 grand. And next year, it's the $250,000 mark. I need to hit over 250. And I definitely think that's Platform.
Awesome. So as Taylor said right there, Platform directly added over $100,000 in GCI to his business. You know, Taylor is only 25 years old, right? So Taylor isn't someone who had been a realtor for 10 years or 20 years and had a big sphere of influence or big database. He's a brand new realtor. And in his first year using Platform, Taylor actually added over $100,000 in GCI that he can directly track back to the Platform marketing campaigns that we set up for him. So it directly added over $100,000 in GCI. And so if you want to get set up on a trial month, you know, using the same marketing system that Taylor uses, by the way, Taylor's in Tampa. So just as an example, if you're watching this right now and you're in Tampa, you know, like Tampa Bay, Florida, like, sorry, you can't sign up for Platform because that's Taylor's market, right? So that's how it works. It's not just one zip code, it's the entire area, right? So that's why we ask you to go to platformmarketmap.com. That's all you have to do to get set up on a trial. We're just trying to make sure that we don't already have a client in your market. That's how it works. So www.platformmarketmap.com.
Here's 4 things you need to know before hiring a marketing company. First, make sure that your marketing company isn't working for your competition. Many companies like Zillow, Curator, and Boomtown are simultaneously working with dozens of agents in the same market. This helps them make more money, but it's not what's in your best interest. Second, make sure your marketing company is actually generating leads for you. Many companies are really just website companies. To succeed in a world of social media, you need more than a website. You need actual leads. Third, make sure you set aside time to call your leads as soon as you can. A Harvard study showed that if you call a lead as soon as they come in, they are 7 times more likely to qualify than even waiting 1 hour. Fourth, if you can't call your leads right away, make sure that your marketing sends a text message to the leads. Maybe you're on a listing appointment and you can't call a new lead that comes in. Text messages have a 98% open rate, yet most agents aren't texting their damn leads. The perfect marketing company would help you generate leads, convert leads, and it would be exclusive. What if a marketing company did all of the above and it only partnered with one real estate agent per city? Sounds crazy, right? For more information, check out platformrealestate.com.
Again, www.platformmarketmap.com, and we can get you set up on a trial month of Platform. All right. All the trial month costs is just a one-time investment of $500 because we don't have any contracts. I want to make that really clear to everyone. We don't have any contracts. All right. You're not locked into a year. You don't have to sign up on a 6-month contract or anything. It's totally month to month. So if you want to try it on a trial month, it's just a one-time investment, right, for the trial month, just 1 month. And we have a pretty damn good track record of actually doubling the GCI of realtors that we work with. And we don't have any contracts. That's how confident we are that it'll work for you. So here's a quick video of Danny. She's a realtor in Texas. We didn't add 100,000 to her GCI. We actually added almost $175,000 in GCI to her business that she can track back to working with us. So after she hired us, she's now making an extra $175,000 a year in GCI that can be tracked back to Platform marketing. So here's Danny's story. I asked her to film this video specifically so she could talk about the fact that we're offering a discounted trial month, because when Danny signed up, we actually weren't doing any sort of trial month. So I want you guys to know that if you're on this webinar, this is something we're doing specially on this webinar. Like if you go to our website, the actual platform website, there's no mention of a trial month or any sort of discount, right? So when Danny signed up, she didn't get a discount, she didn't get a trial month, right? And so I asked her to film a video talking about her experience, just kind of what her thoughts would be on if it's worth giving it a try, because we are offering you a special trial month right now where you can check out Platform with no contracts, no risk. All right, here's Danny's video.
Hey, it's Danny. I am a realtor in Texas. If you're watching this, it's probably because you're interested in the Platform trial month. I have to tell you, you would be crazy not to take them up on that. When I started with Platform about 18 months ago, I didn't get a trial or any kind of discount, but it has hands down been the best investment I ever made in my business. When I first started with them, I was doing about probably 100,000 in income, so about a little over about 4 million in GCI, or excuse me, in production. Now, today, after being there a little over a year and a half, I have doubled, almost quadrupled that, and we'll do about 275 in GCI this year. I've actually hired my first buyer's agent. I also have a part-time administrative person. So it's just been a really good decision, and to be able to try it out for a discounted price is awesome. And I wish I would have gotten to do that. But, you know, I still made an incredible return on that investment. So I definitely would highly recommend it.
So again, Danny has directly added over $175,000 a year in GCI to her business since she started working with Platform. You know, we manage all of her marketing for her. We get her both buyer leads, we get her listing leads, and you can take advantage of the same marketing system today, right? She's at $175,000 GCI to her business. If you want to have the same marketing system that Danny uses, just go to platformmarketmap.com and we can get you set up on a trial month. So if you want that trial month, platformmarketmap.com. Here's a quick video that just gives you an idea of how quickly it starts working. The reason I show you this is I don't want you to think it takes 6 months to start working. I don't want you to think it takes even 3 months to start working, right? It works your very first month. Most agents who sign up on the trial month, in the very first trial month, they're still going to get about 100 to 150 leads. So it's not like it takes a couple months to get dialed in or anything like that. You will get over 100 leads your very first trial month. And especially considering it's March right now, it's the absolute best time of year to sign up and get started with this. I'm not just saying that, it is absolutely true. I mean, obviously the spring selling season is kind of upon us. And so the leads that you generate right now in March, you know, even in your trial month, those leads are probably going to be actually ready to buy in April, May, June, right? Just because of the time of year it is. You know, I can't really say that if we do a webinar in November or December, because often, you know, people that sign up in November, December have to wait until the spring for a lot of those leads to convert before they're actually ready to buy a house. So again, I'm the CEO of Platform. This is my company. I'm not just telling you this because we're on a webinar here. I'm being totally truthful with you. It is the best time of year right now in March to sign up, because the lead conversion cycle, the sales cycle of your leads is going to be shorter than ever. So the leads that you get right now in March in your trial month, if you choose to give this a try, are probably going to be ready to buy and sell houses in April, May, June. So it's not like you have to wait 6 months. Here's how quickly it starts working.
Hi, this is Michelle Jones from Tennessee. I joined the Platform webinar. I signed up, and my results for the first 10 days are that the 2 new listings ads that I ran with Platform, I got both under contract in the same day. I also have 5 active buyers that I'm currently working with now, and I also have obtained 3 new listings.
So again, 5 active buyers, 3 new listings in her first month. I mean, the reason I show you that video is because it sounds too good to be true, right? It almost sounds like we're making it up. So that's why I want to show you the video so you don't just think I'm lying to you, right? This is one of my favorite videos I'll show you here. This is a realtor named Danny Springfield. And Danny talks about the impact Platform made on her business because it actually added about $7 million in sales volume to her business last year. So about 200K in GCI. Her business has grown actually over 200K in GCI since she joined Platform. But the cool thing that makes this video different from all the other ones I'll be showing you is that Danny's talking about how she's actually working less now. So she's making 200K a year more than she was before, but Platform has actually created a lifestyle for her where she's working less than she was before she signed up for Platform, even though her business has grown by about $7 million in volume. Her husband is actually an engineer, and she's now making so much money in her real estate business that her husband quit his engineering job, and so they can spend more time together, right? And obviously, you guys know engineers make a lot of money, so that's how much her business has grown, where it actually made financial sense, where it was okay for her husband to quit his engineering job because their real estate business was growing so much. So now she gets to see her family more, gets to spend more time with her husband and her kids, and she has about 200K a year more in GCI. So again, if you want the marketing system that Danny's using and you want to get a trial month of it, platformmarketmap.com. All right, let's hear Danny talk about her platform experience in her own words.
Hi, I'm Danny Springfield in San Antonio. My platform story starts, I've been in business and real estate for about 5 years. When I signed up, I was plateauing at about 13 to 15 million a year. I had another agent on board with me, but I knew that we could get a little bigger and do a little better. Most importantly, I wanted to do that in a scaled fashion. So signing up with Platform enabled me to build my business to about $20 million a year, but where I'm spending more time. I have 3 little kids where I'm spending more time with them. My husband actually left his engineering job to join my team, and that has been such a godsend for our family. Our quality of life has increased dramatically, and we owe a lot of that to Platform. The biggest change has been the quality of leads, so you're not spending all your time chasing ones that aren't very good, and maybe even most importantly for me has been that Platform, it gets me in front of my sphere for referral business so easily with very little effort on my part. So I'm a happy client. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and I'm really just thankful to be part of the Platform family. Thanks.
Awesome. So again, if you want to get set up on a trial, just check out platformmarketmap.com. If you want to use the same marketing system that Danny has used to grow her business, platformmarketmap.com. Platform is not just a marketing agency, by the way. It's really like you're hiring an entire marketing department. So yes, we set up all your Facebook ads. We set up the campaigns. We split test everything for you. We set up the landing pages. We build the websites for everything. We send out emails to your leads as they come in. We send out text messages to your leads when they come in. So maybe you're in a listing appointment or you're on a showing with a client and you have new leads coming in and you don't have time to call them. You don't have time to email them or text them right away. Our system will send an automated text message and email to all the leads you have coming in, right? We do all of that for you. We manage all that for you. We also edit all of your videos for you. So if you film a market update video every month, or you film like listing video tours of your listings, just send us the raw footage, you know, like from your phone or whatever, and we will edit all of your videos and make your videos, even if you're filming them on an iPhone, we will make them look professional. We have a team of like video editors at Platform that'll add animations, add your logo, add all that stuff to your videos. So even if you're just filming videos every month, you know, with your phone, we can make them look professional. So Platform isn't just a lead generation system. Like the best way of describing it, usually what our clients say, is that it's like hiring an entire marketing department, right? Because we're going to coach you on how to follow up with the leads. We're going to build all the marketing lead gen campaigns for you. We're even going to edit all of your videos for you. So it's like having a full-blown marketing department. This is a video of Jeff Downey. He's in Iowa. The reason I show you this is listen to how quickly he got results, and he's in Iowa, right? So I've already shown you case studies from realtors in Texas, in Florida, in Minnesota, in Tennessee, right? He's in Iowa. So this works anywhere, whether you're in a big city, small town, a farm town, the suburbs, maybe something in between. Platform works in basically any type of environment, you know. So Jeff's up in Iowa, so check out how quickly he got results using the Platform marketing system.
Hey guys, Jeff Downing here. I'm in Des Moines, Iowa. As you can see, the corn's growing right behind me, so I am definitely in Iowa. Just hit my 30-day anniversary with Platform, and I want to share with you some of my successes. First campaign, first night it's going, and wake up, my phone's got a full contact lead, name, number, address, and then down at the bottom, the most beautiful thing in the world says, yeah, I'm looking to buy a house in the next 90 days. We were able to get their home listed and get them upgraded in house. Both those houses went pending just last weekend.
Notice he's also getting listing leads. So Platform isn't just about buyer leads, right? Platform is also consistently getting seller leads for our clients.
Which is about 14,000 in GCI off my first day in my first month here in Platform. Also had a call, hey, love your video. We're looking to sell our house and upgrade. So just last night was on a listing appointment for $425,000. That's an at-bat I would not have had without Platform. I've also added literally hundreds of contacts into my drip campaigns and into my SOI. So that's been really, really cool. Finally, I love talking to my account administrator once a week. David, if you're out there, man, you're the best. Love chatting with him every Monday. We can look at the effectiveness of the ads, my ad spend, and he's also helped me with scripts, when to call back, what to say, email returns. Just get rejuvenated to start the week after talking with David every Monday. So that's been my experience with Platform. If you want to know more, please look me up.
Awesome. So that's how quickly it starts working. You notice at the end of that video, by the way, Jeff was talking about how he loves working with his account manager, David. You'll get a specific account manager assigned to you at Platform where we do a one-on-one personal phone call with you every week. So that's another way the Platform is really very different than every other marketing company out there that works with realtors. Is I'm not talking about a group coaching call, where it's like a webinar where you're on a webinar or you're on a phone call with like 100 other agents. Every single one of our clients gets a personal, private, one-on-one coaching call with us every week. So it's not a group call. It's a one-on-one call with us every week where we give you marketing ideas for videos. We tell you what's working right now. We coach you on follow-up. It's like having a personal coach, and we're going to manage all of your marketing campaigns for you. Again, that's a private one-on-one phone call. It's not a group phone call. So that's what Jeff was talking about there when he mentions David. David is his dedicated account manager at Platform, and they speak on the phone every week.
For $425,000. That's an at-bat I would not have had without Platform. I've also added literally hundreds of contacts into my drip campaigns and into my SOI. So that's been really, really cool. Finally, I love talking to my account administrator once.
So that's what he's talking about. He talks to David once a week on that private one-on-one phone call. To my knowledge, I think we're the only marketing company that works with realtors that does this, where we actually talk one-on-one with our clients regularly, right? Again, not a group call, one-on-one. That's why our clients are so successful.
David, if you're out there, man, you're the best. Love chatting with him every Monday. We can look at the effectiveness of the ads, my ad spend, and he's also helped me with scripts, when to call back, what to say, email returns. Just get rejuvenated to start the week after talking with David every Monday. So that's been my experience with Platform. If you want to know more, please look me up.
All right, guys. Again, we only work with one realtor per market. So that's the reason we're asking you. If you want to get set up on the trial month, it's super simple. Just go to platformmarketmap.com. But we do only work with one agent per market. That's why we ask you to go there. Is all we're doing is we're just trying to make sure that we don't already have an agent in the city that you're in, right? So in the time I've been on this slide, you could have already done it, right? It'll take you 5 seconds. www.platformmarketmap.com. Just let us know where you live, and we can get you set up on a trial month. Here's one of my favorite videos. This is Justin Liller. He added almost 200K in GCI to his business, actually. This video was filmed last summer, but since then, I've talked to Justin, and he told me that it's added almost 200K in GCI to his business since he signed up a Platform. I am the founder. I am the CEO of Platform. So this is actually really, I guess, personally meaningful to me that Justin is so excited about it, because what he says in this video is that it's the best business decision he's ever made. I take a lot of pride in that because Platform is my company. So when people say that hiring us was the best business decision he's ever made, that it's made such a difference in his family's lifestyle, now they have money to, they bought a boat, they go on more vacations, they can go out to eat more, they can travel more, they can buy a bigger house, because he's making an extra $200,000 a year. That's awesome. And he says it's the best business decision he's ever made. So I take a lot of pride in that. Here's Justin's story. Again, if you're interested, if you want to use the same marketing system that Justin has, you want to get set up on that trial month, it's platformmarketmap.com.
Hey guys, I'm Justin Liller with Rayleigh Realty at Deep Creek Lake, and I want to share my experience so far since joining Platform. Back in January, I flew down and met with Tim, and he showed me kind of the basics of Platform, which I implemented right away and saw some pretty good success with. So at the end of May, I became a full Platform family member. So it's been a little more than 30 days, maybe 40 days since I joined Platform, and I've seen some really incredible success. I'm picking up between 4 and 6 full contact information leads per day off of the ads that I run on Facebook. I can directly relate 3 listings back to my Platform ads that I've been running. They range anywhere from $150,000 to $800,000. I have had 2 closings from that, $175,000 closing and another at $850,000. And then I have a property under contract with some folks that opted into one of my ads at $1,550,000. So, you know, it's an incredible value that they offer at Platform. The return on investment is going to be absolutely huge. And I could not recommend joining Platform anymore. Like it has been by far the best business decision that I have ever made. So I've been implementing the Platform strategy since January, but only been a full Platform member since the end of May. And as of last Friday, I had 2 closings last Friday. As of last Friday, for 2017, I've already exceeded my GCI that I had in 2016. So I have no doubt that this is going to become my best year ever. And I think that, you know, if you follow the strategies that they talk about, it could be anybody's best year ever. You've got to film the videos, you've got to do the follow-up, and the buyers and listings will come. You know, it's been incredible. Over the holiday weekend, I had 5 people walk up to me and say, "Hey, you're that guy from the Facebook ads, the videos. I watch all your home tours. I love it." And, you know, it's that kind of stuff that maybe doesn't show up in your GCI right away, but over time it will, because people are going to, you know, when they're ready to buy, they're only going to think of you because you've built that trust and you've given them something to watch while they're bored at work or sitting at home, and they absolutely love it. So anyway, I can't thank Platform enough. I couldn't be happier. And if you're on the fence about this, just do it. You're not going to regret it. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. So in Justin's own words, it's the best business decision he's ever made. Platformmarketmap.com. Guys, I'm going to skip ahead. I'm going to skip ahead to the end of this. I have a bunch more videos I could show you. This is a client we work with in Louisiana who's totally killing it. This is a client we work with right here in Hawaii who's totally killing it. So Platform even works way over in Hawaii, right? So it really works in any market as long as you are willing to follow up with the warm leads that are coming in. So Mike is just killing it over in Hawaii. We have, this is an agent here, Justin Stewart, who more than doubled his GCI. He's in College Station, Texas. He's a great success story. We added over 100K to his GCI. This is Rodney. He's in Wichita. He's totally crushed it with Platform. This is Amy. She's in Pensacola, Florida. Amy's going to do, I think, 40 Platform deals this year. So just on top of all the other business that she's doing, Amy is a realtor on the Emerald Coast of Florida. She talked to me last week, and she told me that right now she's on track to do 40 deals this year, 40 closings just from her Platform leads. So at an average of, let's say, you know, $5,000 or $6,000 a piece on those commissions, like that's going to be over $200,000 in GCI this year just from Platform leads for her. So that's awesome. Here's a video I want to show you here where this is Brandon. He's in Denver. So again, it's working all over, right? But Brandon's going to take you behind the scenes into his office, And Brandon's going to actually show you his whiteboard where he has his future pipeline written out on his whiteboard. The whiteboard doesn't lie. This is what high hanging fruit is all about. So notice when he walks in and he shows you his whiteboard of all the, the deals he has upcoming. The whiteboard doesn't lie. This is the power of platform.
I was first introduced to the whole online lead platform system. I was skeptical. Now, a year later, we're closing 40 deals in 2016. This is all due to the online marketing platform. For example, we have our buyers meet us in this building, which gives us instant credibility. So when you meet somebody on the internet, never know if they're real or not. So when you come to a building like this, people come in here, they want to work with you, they realize you're real, and then you sign them up as a client. Come with me to the office. For example, we are closing 11 deals in June alone, totaling over $4.5 million. That is an incredible number, and about half of that came directly from the platform system. Now over here is the stuff you can't fake. This is our pipeline. This is ready buyers who've been pre-approved. They want to go searching, they want to go shopping, and they want to buy a home. 50% of these guys are all coming from our platform system, and it's proven the high-hanging fruit mentality, the system, the platform leads, it really does work, and it's real.
www.platformmarketmap.com. You probably don't need a whole much more proof at this point because you've seen all these case studies, but again, the whiteboard doesn't lie. So if you want to use the same marketing system that Brandon used, it's www.platformmarketmap.com. Guys, I have one last video I want to show you. One last video, and this is a video of Debbie Kaler. She's a realtor in Minnesota, and her results were so incredible that we actually flew a documentary film crew out to produce a movie about Debbie's before and after story. So she's a realtor in Minnesota. She was broke. She had no money. She was actually about to be kicked out of her house. The bank was about to foreclose her house because her business had slowed down so much as a realtor that she couldn't even afford to make her mortgage payments anymore on her house. So the bank was about to lose her house, to take her house. With the last of her retirement savings that she had saved, she decided to take a risk because she basically had nothing to lose. She took a risk and hired Platform. I'm not lying. I know this sounds super cheesy, super like cliche, but that's why it's such a crazy story that we basically filmed a documentary about her realtor success story. The first house that we helped her promote with a Facebook ad to get leads was actually her own house because she had to sell it because she couldn't afford to live there anymore. The bank was about to take it. So that's how bad it was for Debbie. I know it kind of sounds cheesy, but that's why we filmed a video, because if I told you all this, you probably wouldn't believe me. It sounds like too far-fetched or too good to be true. So that's why we produced a documentary about this. But this is maybe the most powerful story you will ever hear of a real estate agent who grew their business like against all odds. So this is Debbie Kaler's story. This is the power of Platform. So if you want to have, again, if you want to have the same marketing Debbie has, and you want to get set up on a trial month, as you're watching this, just check out platformmarketmap.com and we'll get you set up on a trial month. You can use the same marketing that Debbie is using to grow her business. This last year, I think Debbie did 70 deals, 70 transactions. The majority of that came from Platform, and she's in a county where the entire county, I mean, you can see how small the town is here. This is the main street where she lives. The entire county in rural Minnesota only has 25,000 people, and Debbie did 70 transactions. So this is the power of Platform.
Okay, so I love this car. I've always wanted a Jeep Rubicon, always. Never thought I'd be able to get one, especially that I could just write out a check for, actually. But I was in Platform for about 6 months when my other car actually blew up, and I just kind of thought, what am I doing? I can afford what I want. So drove onto the lot with that wreck and drove off with this Rubicon with only 6 miles on it, which was a fantastic day.
So I want you to meet Debbie Kaler. The Platform strategy literally rescued her career. After the housing market crashed, she was struggling to make a living. Now she's driving a brand new car, bought a new lake home, and business is better than ever. Her story is just incredible. So we'll let her share the details. This is the power of the platform strategy.
Hi, I'm Debbie Kaler. I'm a realtor in a very small town in west central Minnesota. Population just a little over 2,000. So it's a tough market. We have a lot of agents around here. In fact, I would say we are saturated because everybody, for some reason, thinks that real estate is the fast, easy money, easiest thing you can get into. So I got into real estate in 1990 and always did pretty well, probably in the top 10, 15. And then the market crashed. And being a single person, that was tough. I ended up losing my house, my car, pawned all my jewelry. I literally had nothing left other than the clothes on my back.
So, as I said, Debbie's story is one of the coolest platform stories I've ever heard. After 20 years in the business, things were so slow, she was about to quit real estate entirely and find a new career. She was applying for jobs around the country, just trying to find something to pay the bills. And then she discovered platform.
So thinking this is it, I have to get out of real estate permanently, even though I loved it. They found out my story and they said, you know, we have this young guy that does marketing for us, you should give him a try. So I was desperate and I decided, all right, I'm going to meet him. It turns out his name is Tim Schumack. And he came over and talked to me and started telling me about platform, and I thought this is entirely too good to be true. There's no way anything is that good that's going to take me from about being homeless, literally homeless, to actually being able to stay in this business and make it. But humor me, I'll listen to him. So I meet him. He gave me the good sales pitch. Out of frustration, I hired him. And only because that day in the mail, the very last check had come from my retirement account. Very last check. And I knew it wasn't going to carry me through anyway, so what's the big deal? I might as well gamble. I threw it at him and said, all right, big talker, you think you can do this? Do it. I bet it was 3 weeks later, leads started to come in like crazy, and they started rolling in. I'm not kidding. And pretty soon I didn't have time for that other job I took. I was back into real estate. And here we are 2.5 years later, and I went from number 47 in my association up to number 2.
So Debbie went from having no money, literally losing her home, to being the number 2 agent in her entire association. I love this story. It's such an authentic example of the power of platform. The entire community noticed how quickly Debbie built her brand. Remember, building your business is as simple as building a list of people who trust you. Not just a database, but a list of people who trust you.
So one of the fun things with platform was I had so many friends say, you know, when the market crashed, we thought you were done. That was it. We thought your business was going under, that you were done, no more, Debbie. And it's like you came back with a vengeance. All of a sudden we see videos all over the place and your signs are going up all over the place. And now you're really showing other people how it's done. I actually had a couple of my competing agencies come and try to recruit me with their company. To which it's like, no, I turned them down. I mean, they're like, don't you want to work for, and then they'd say their name because they're bigger names in the area. I don't have a big name. You know, Lakes Area Realty, Debbie Kaler Real Estate. You know, I don't have the big banners, the big balloons, anything like that. And it's like, you know what? I don't need you. I'm doing fine on my own. They didn't like that very well, but I've pretty much buried most of them, which is a great feeling. And it's all because of platform. I went from, said, bottom of the barrel, thinking that I was going under, to a place I never thought I would be. And it's because of the marketing. And that happened rather quickly. Actually, I would say within 3 months, people started to make comments about, wow, you came back strong. And by 6 months, it was, wow.
Amazing. So let's take a behind-the-scenes look at Debbie's office and get a feel for what her daily routine looks like when the leads are flowing in.
So I just want to give you a behind-the-scenes look at what platform has done for me. Just in this last week, I've gotten 3 pages of leads. The ones that are crossed off are the ones that I've actually come in contact with, I've had phone conversations with, or even met them for coffee. I've We've got 2 listing appointments out of it so far, and for sure 1 buyer, probably 2, maybe even 3. So it's been great that way. It keeps me busy. It keeps me in contact with people. But I really want to show you personally what it's done for me. So my dream car was always a Jeep Rubicon. And after working with Platform for, I don't know, about 6 months, I was finally able to get one. Brand new, right off the lot. And it only had 6 miles on it. So it was glorious. Working with Platform and really working the program, if you work it, it works. So if you've been in it and say that it doesn't work, it's only because you're not doing anything with it. I have proof, because what I'm going to show you is the property I was able to buy, and it may not be huge, but it is on a premier lake. It's on Green Lake, which used to be the 2nd purest lake in the world. It's completely renovated. I can't wait to show it to you. So, you know, we're going to go there right now and take a look.
You know, I'm reminded of that classic quote from Zig Ziglar. You can have whatever you want in life if you'll just help other people get what they want. This is the very essence of the platform strategy. Just serve people. Before you ever ask for anything, provide value. Be the most helpful real estate agent in your market. As you'll see, it worked for Debbie, and it can work for you too.
I paid plenty for it just because it is where it is. But it is a Frank Lloyd Wright house, which does mean something, so I wanted to keep his design. And that's another reason I renovated what was there instead of tearing it down. It is a $500,000 house in a community where everything, the average price is $150,000. So it's an accomplishment. I never thought I would be able to do that. So we're almost at my humble cottage. So not only was I...
So what's cool here is that Debbie's actually going to show you kind of a quick tour of the house that she bought. It's a lake house because her business grew so much. You know, keep in mind, a year before this, she was about to lose her house, totally broke. And now she bought a brand new Jeep and a brand new lake home, all because of how much her business grew because of the platform strategy. So as you're watching this, realize this is because of platform leads and how much her business grew. So if you want that same marketing system, again, platformmarketmap.com.
Able to buy this new car, but Platform also allowed me to buy my new lake home. So this is the lake home that I bought, and I was able to renovate the whole thing. What we're standing in was actually just a screen porch. Going into the kitchen, I was able to put in all new countertops, new flooring, all new appliances, took out some walls, added some windows, opened up the living room. This was a couple tiny rooms before, but what I love about this place is this epic view of Green Lake, and thanks to Platform, I get to enjoy it every day.
So again, if you want the same marketing system that Debbie used to just, honestly, transform her life. If you want that same marketing system, you can get it on a trial month right now at platformmarketmap.com. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the webinar today. One thing I'll have Mitch do today as a follow-up for everyone is I'll have him send you a checklist of everything the platform does for you, just so you can get some more like specifics on what the platform marketing system is, like all the things we do for you, from creating your Facebook ads to editing all of your videos for you, setting up split tests, building the landing pages, setting up like retargeting audiences, running retargeting ads for you, all that stuff. I will have Mitch send you a checklist with all of that. And then for those, I think we had like 15 people here who have requested information at platformmarketmap.com. For those of you that signed up there, I'll have Mitch reach out to you today and connect with you and let you know how soon we can get you set up on the trial month. So I'll have Mitch email you that information on the checklist, and look forward to having some of you join the platform family soon. Thanks, guys.